Hey everyone, it's Jordan from Fish Keeping Made Easy, and today we are doing a care guide on the Bristlenose pleco. So the Bristlenose is an extremely popular pleco for any experience level. Their popularity comes from the fact that they come in loads of different colours and markings, they're extremely hardy, easy to breed, and they're relatively cheap. So let's get into this care guide. So like I said, there are many different varieties of Bristlenose pleco, and the care guide for them all is more or less the same unless you go with the long fin variety. In that case, I would ensure you don't have any fish that could potentially nip the pleco, and make sure you don't have too many sharp rocks that the long fins could possibly get snagged on. If the fins are ripped or torn, this could lead to bacterial infections and other similar issues. So these fish are very easy to find. You'll find them in all the big chain pet shops, your local fish shop, and if you look on eBay or social media, you'll find a lot of local breeders, and these are the best places to get the unique variations of these Bristlenose plecos. But your standard Bristlenose pleco costs around £5 or £6 in the UK, and the price will just go up or down depending on size, colorations and markings. So the Bristlenose pleco, or the Bushynose pleco, is a hardy South American fish that can adapt to a wide range of water conditions, temperature of around 18 to 25 degrees and a pH of between 6 and 8. Personally, I kept mine at around 24 degrees with a pH of 6.4. They can grow to around 6 inches and tend to max out at this size around 2 years old. They do have a lifespan of between 5 to 10 years old, but I've heard people saying they can live a lot longer than this. So although these fish are super hardy and don't really require much, if you want to have success with them, there's a few things to consider, and tank setup is definitely one of these. So what should a Bristlenose pleco aquarium setup look like? So like I said, these guys can grow to around 6 inches, so when they're younger they can be housed in something smaller, but I wouldn't recommend keeping them in anything smaller than about 100 litres. This is because they have an extraordinarily high bioload, so if you're buying it as a quote-unquote cleaner fish, then I wouldn't bother because they make more mess than anything else. They do eat algae, but as they get older they will eat more of the prepared foods you put into the tank. Again, if you're buying them for an algae problem, I would first try and identify why you have this algae problem in the first place. So it's kind of harsh, but algae is really your responsibility, not the fish's. So you may have your lights on for too long, some direct sunlight, too much excessive nutrients from overfeeding, overstocking, or just not enough water changes, or all of the above. These fish can manage algae and stop it growing over time, but they won't really single-handedly fix any problem that's going on. They're one factor in a much larger and more complex battle that you'll have against algae. They come from rivers with fast flow, so this is also required in the tank. Without going into too much detail, they basically need water to be pushed through their gills. A lot of people recommend putting some flat rocks and wooded areas at high flow to give them a little perfect area to graze and to perch on. Wood is also required for a pleco's digestive system, so this should be part of their diet. A simple bit of driftwood will be fine and also doubles as a hiding spot. I have seen some bits of literature saying that Bristlenose plecos don't need wood, but to be honest, you might as well just put it in because it's beneficial in all different ways. Talking about hiding spots, plecos do well in planted and hardscape tanks. Use rocks and wood to create caves and other little hiding spots. Now, people ask if Bristlenose plecos eat plants, and in my experience, mine did damage some of my Amazon swords, but I believe they are likely just grazing on them and have just damaged the leaves while doing so, as Amazon sword leaves are pretty delicate. So what I would recommend is using slightly hardier plants with older Bristlenose plecos, as they can kind of damage plants by mistake. So I guess this perfectly segues into the Bristlenoses' diet. So basically, they'll eat absolutely anything that falls to the bottom of the tank, but things like algae wafers and vegetables and things like that are perfect for their diet. Personally, I fed mine zucchini, spinach, cucumber, but there are plenty of other different vegetables that you can feed. My Bristlenose pleco also enjoyed frozen and live food such as bloodworms, blackworms and any other type of worm food from my experience. Just ensure they're getting enough food and the stuff is actually reaching the bottom, and they should be perfectly fine. So next we'll discuss what kind of tank mates a Bristlenose pleco can have. More or less they can be kept with any other kind of community fish, so tetras, barbs, rasboras, cories, etc. But I think the most common question you get asked is, can you keep multiple specimens in the same tank? And the answer to that question is yes. So firstly, you can keep groups of them, but I would recommend only keeping one male per group, as the males can fight over territory. But again, the larger the tank, the more hardscape etc you have, the more you can accommodate multiple males. Now again, all this is just at your own risk. I know people who keep hundreds of Bristlenose plecs in tanks, and some other people who've never been able to keep more than one together. Another question that I commonly get is, can you keep different species of plecs together? I keep Bristlenose plecs and blue phantom plecs together, but again, it's all at your own risk. There is a potential that they can fight and bicker, but I personally think that mines are all female, and that's maybe why I've not had too many issues. But again, I think it is doable, but it's all at your own risk. So, are these fish easy to breed? So I'm not going to go into too much detail about breeding them because I've never personally bred them myself, and it would all just be second-hand information, and I prefer my care guides to mostly come from my own experience backed up with some facts. So these fish are considered fairly easy to breed. Males and females are pretty easy to tell apart. Females here have less of that bristle, and you can see here that she really has none. And you can see here that the male has all these bristles, and they're kind of creepy whether you like them or not. Females do get a little bit of the bristle round the mouth, but they would be considerably smaller. I've also noticed that males tend to get some bristles when they're still quite small, so if your one has no bristles and is slightly larger, then it's definitely a female. There are other factors that you can use to determine whether it's male or female, but this is the blatantly obvious one. Like I said, they are quite easy to breed, so traditionally you would just put a male and a female, or a male and a few females into a tank with a few of these pleco caves, and normally within a short period of time they would start to spawn. So I want to give a big shout out to TheChilliFishkeeper, as he provided me with a lot of this footage. Now, he has purchased a few very unique looking Bristlenose plecs. I hope he is okay with me telling people this, but he will be setting up a breeding project soon, so if you are looking to see how to breed Bristlenose plecs, or you want some further information on it, make sure to check out his channel, and hopefully he has already posted a video about it. Regardless, subscribe to his channel anyway, at TheChilliFishkeeper. I will put the link in the description. So as always, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like it, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.